Hey everybody, welcome to the new video. This is Max from Server 133. If you guys have seen my previous video where I have given a very simple suggestion for players who are not sure whether to work on the specialty or to work on the red stars, life is very simple, only work on one of them. If you work on the specialty, make sure that the general stays the assistant. Do not work on the red stars till you have 450 fragments of it. Or else, if you feel like dismissing the general or disassembling the general, you will lose one of them for sure. The other scenario I explained was only work on the red stars, wherein the general can be used on your council of state, wherein it can be a duty officer giving you some bonus buffs, or you can always disassemble the general for a refund of blood of Ares and general fragments. But if you do specialty and blood of Ares both, it goes waste, right? Now very similar thing comes into the game when we talk about dragons. Yes, this video is about dragons. Now let's first have a look at all the dragons and what is the purpose of them. The dragon Celtic Demon can be used as a range dragon or a ground dragon. This is looking at the standard buffs of the dragons, okay? The dragon Jauzar can be used as a range dragon or a mounted dragon. The dragon Fafnir can be used as a mounted or a siege dragon. Dragon Norwevrige is normally used as a ground dragon or a sub-city dragon. Dragon Thebes is undoubtedly the wall dragon. Dragon Nidhogg is used as the mounted dragon or can also be used as the ranged dragon. Ladin, range. Amaterasu, ground. Cold chain, siege, and Ziz, mounted. This is the clear purpose of the dragon. But what Evony has done is they have added another feature which was unlocked when we had the K40 release. It's not something which has happened today. And speaking about this feature, I'm trying to cover it now because there is a lot of things that has harassed me mentally when we talk about this feature. It's not like I'm going to put a case on Evony for this kind of thing. It's like a dilemma, to be or not to be, right? So if you look at the talents of the dragons, it makes it very clear. Yeah, this dragon is going to go in one direction no matter what you do, right? So it makes it very clear that this dragon Celtic Demon is purely meant for range. What people used to do in the earlier version of Evony, when we didn't have the dragon talents, what they used to do is once they unlocked the Ladin by going into the all stars, they would make Ladin as their main range dragon and they would make Celtic Demon as their main ground dragon, because the first buff of the dragon, which is marching ground troop defense, along with the 60% ground troop attack or ground troop defense buff which they can get from the refining, that would be a good buff, because the dragon here, which is Norwevrige, didn't have any specific marching buff. It had debuffs and the refinings could go up to 80%. So in case of that, the Celtic Demon had much better refines and much better buff. The only one thing which made it even more better was the march size capacity. So Celtic Demon could have more troops in the attack. Again, it could have ground buffs and stuff like that. But now, thanks to this two new talent features, people have started spending their gems, the dragon source fragments. In case of the pasture dragons, they are spending their dragon crystals which they get from BOGs and other events. And in case of the sacred dragons, which we look here, the Wonder 1 to Wonder 3 and the All Stars dragon, people will be spending their dragon badges. Sorry, not badges, dragon badges, just the badges that you get from battlefield, right? So to avoid such confusion, what can a person do, right? So I'll take you through one scenario, the very basic scenario which 90% of the players go through. They make Celtic Demon as their range dragon, they make Fafnir as their mounted dragon, they make Norwevrige as their ground dragon, and they make Thebes as their wall dragon. Okay, now this is a normal routine. If in that case Thebes is going to be wall dragon no matter what. So all these talents are in one direction. There's nothing wrong in that, you know, just go with the flow. It's perfect, it's all good. In case of an unlock, which you see here, the dragon Jauzar can be unlocked by simply spending around $260 to $300 in the dragon pattern event. Now people asked me that, Max, it says 71 spins to have the dragon guaranteed. Let me answer this question of yours, my friends. For spending $100 you get 60 spins. Now when you spin for 60 times, so 50 is the limit, right? 50 is below 60. So when you spend for 60 times, you get another 15 spins. That gives you a total of 75 spins. And in 75 spins, it is guaranteed that you are getting one of these. At least one. Guaranteed. Right? Now moving on, you have already achieved 75 spin mark, which is sitting here. And then you spend another $100, you get another 60 spins. So when you start spinning for another 60 times, it goes 75 plus 60, 85, 95, 105, 115, 25, 135. Now when you cross 135 spins, Evony is giving you another 15 spins. Add it, it goes 150. Now that you have done 150 spins, my dear friends, you have chance to get two of these guaranteed. Right, 7170 is 142. And for the rest, once again you can, you know, start spending $10, which is here. These $10 will give you 6 spins, and as you keep spinning, I was fortunate enough to get the dragon in $250 because I also had some of these little ones. They may not look so great, but you know, I got them, right? So technically I spent 260 or 250, I'll say 250 round figure, much easy. $250 and I got this. So if you're somebody who's planning to get this dragon, your game changes little. Celtic Demon remains your range dragon, no doubt. Fafnir turns into your siege dragon. Jauzar is a complicated one. It can turn into your range dragon, mounted dragon. Now here is the thing, my dear friends. If you are somebody who does not have Wonder 1 and Wonder 2, you can have Celtic Demon as the ground dragon, Jauzar as the range dragon, and Fafnir as the mounted dragon, right? For somebody who does not have Wonder 1 and Wonder 2, this is very early stage of the game, that you are spending money, your server is new, you do not have the SVS yet, and yeah, that's the reason, right? So in such scenarios, in such cases, anybody and everybody can simply enjoy the game by having these three dragons as their purpose. So Celtic for ground, Jauzar for range, Fafnir for mounted. But as your game increases, you will get your Wonder 1, you will get your Wonder 2. Then you will have to change the refines again. Now here's the fun fact. Changing refinings is not that expensive, honestly speaking. It is doable. So when I was refining one of my dragons, I got the Wonder 3 dragon recently, the Nidhogg. It cost me around 500,000 gems to get the appropriate refine I was looking for. I'll show you what refines I've got. I'm going to fix it even more in a couple of weeks when the new refining event comes up. Continuing the conversation in the video. The problem with dragon like Fafnir, if you invest on any of these talents, it's going to be a waste in the future. Why? So before I didn't have my plan to unlock Jauzar. Neither I had planned to unlock Wonder 3. I came in contact with some players who would team up with you and play along with you in the battlefield, and you know, they'll help you get the maximum points. These guys do it commercially. I understand it is like it's as if you're hiring somebody to play along with you in the team, and there are people who pay players to play with them because they are not happy playing alone, and which is what Evony is. It's to be meant to be played as a team. You cannot play alone. I have people in the game that I know who are billions in power, and I'm not talking of 3, 4, 5. They're like 10, 12, 15, 20 billion in power, and yet they do not have Wonder 3. Why? Because they do not have a team to assist them. One single player in the battlefield, all the building belongs to the enemy, and this guy is just holding one building. Why? Because he cannot jump to all the buildings, because when he jumps to one building, somebody else captures it. So you need people to man those buildings, and if those people are not interested 100%, they'll walk off in the middle of the battlefield. Like, yeah, I've been zeroed, I've got my 1200, I don't need to put any more time, bye bye guys, see you next time, and they walk off. I've seen that happen with me a lot of times, and I hate it. I bloody hate it. So coming here, once you unlock the Jawza dragon, which unfortunately is a mix of range and a mounted dragon, right? But once you unlock Jawza dragon, the game changes for you. Jawza becomes your mounted dragon, Fafnir becomes your siege dragon. Once you unlock the Wonder 3, which in my case I unlock the Wonder 3, I can make the Wonder 3 dragon is as my main mounted dragon. Now let me give you some confusing statements which can actually help you decide which direction you want to go for. So in the very start of the game, till the time you're not ready to pump up these talents, what you should actually do is just work on the dragon level, which gives you some of these necessary buffs. Work on the dragon refines, which will give you some buffs here, and then work on the dragon talents in future once you max out the third talent. Now why am I saying once you max out the third talent? See, the first two talents will give you good buffs, okay, no doubt about it, my dear friends. It's guaranteed going to give you good buffs, okay. But then looking at a dragon like Fafnir, what if you unlock your Wonder 3 maybe 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line? You, my dear friend, would have at least invested 1.5 to 2 million gems in just getting this skill to level 50, this talent to level 100, not 50, level 100. You would have invested around 1.5 to 2 million gems, and that is all wasted in the long term. Why? Because later, once you unlock Wonder 3, this beautiful dragon right here goes on to your siege. So then you'll be investing another 2 million gems to max out this guy to level 100, and then also another 500,000 gems to fix the refines on the dragon, right? So calculating all of this, scenarios, what is the best thing you can do is, and this is where I summarize the whole thing, do not work on dragon talents. Yes, only work on the third dragon talent, because you see here the second dragon talent, which on the general Fafnir is marching mounted to attack 20%. This is at level 40. So just for a bonus of 20% attack, it's not a bad investment. I would say it's a great investment. It's a one-time thing and it's permanently with you, which can turn out to be useless in the future if you start working on another talent. Correct? But however, the third talents, they are useful. Why are they useful? Let me give you an example. Research speed, construction speed. If you are somebody who is planning to go higher keep levels, my dear friend, when I was about to start my K40 construction, we didn't have the ideal land back then. But when I started my K40 construction, it was showing 20,000 days. I moved in all the golden Europes on my keep, and it turned down to be 14 to 15,000 days. And thanks to this dragon talent, I could increase the speed even more, right? So rather than pushing on to one single talent to the max and then regretting after a couple of months, better to work on the third talent on all the dragons, right? It may not be something which is going to affect you very well in the game, but it's going to give you some low benefits. For example, in case of the dragon Norvivridge, the first talent and the second talent is making very clear it is meant for ground, which makes it 100% clear that this guy is going on your ground general no matter what. But if you happen to get the Amaterasu dragon, as if you're on a new server or on a new continent, you have a bright chance to get Amaterasu. And if you get Amaterasu, you may not want to push this guy to be your main ground dragon, you may push him to be your sub-city dragon, and in such case the first talent is not required, only the second talent is required, but the last talent is important because it boosts all troop type buff. So I in general would personally work on the third talents of every dragon, right? Because the third talents are giving me benefits, and once the purpose is finalized that, you know what, this dragon right here is sitting on this general no matter what, this dragon right here is sitting on this general no matter what, and this dragon right here is sitting on this general no matter what, that's when you start pushing the talent. Because if you push the talent way before or in the start or in the early game, and if later that talent is getting useless, you, my dear friend, have invested a million of gems or 2 million of gems for something which you didn't really wanted. And a very simple example that is going to be happening with me personally is here on my sweet little Fafnir. This cute little pet of mine, the purple dragon Fafnir, I have unlocked the Wonder 3, and now I am in this dilemma whether, you know, this dragon is so well invested in the talent, I don't want to let go of it, but you know, for the greater good, this dragon is more better as a siege dragon, right? Yes, I'm getting the march speed. March speed is again a savings in the long term, it saves your march speed, but you will be investing like 2 million gems for that. So what I'm trying to tell you is, now that this guy is going to be into my siege general, the talent right here is going to be useful, but the talent where I've already invested stops. And that is the reason that in the coming few months I'll be first trying to max out the last talent of the dragons, and then later on I will max out the other talents. I may release an Excel or may release another video wherein I can do some calculations and come back to you guys with what could be the best permissible combination to get the best buff possible for a specific dragon. Well, thank you so much everybody for tuning in. In case if you have any questions, I'm going to put the Discord server link in the description. Yes, the video may sound very confusing to a lot of players, but this is not how it is always meant to be played. If you have a different perception and if you like to keep it in, you know, how you think suits you, by any means go for it. But if you feel like, you know, want to have a discussion or want to give your thoughts, you are more than welcome to join my Discord server, connect with me personally, and you can also use the comment section. I'll be referring to the comment section of this video in the next 24 to 48 hours and reply to some questions that may come to this topic. Meanwhile, I will be working on an Excel, a very basic Excel that will help me define what are the best buffs possible to achieve on a dragon without working on the talents, so that it can help you decide even more better to what mode the dragon should go. Well, with this I conclude the video. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Max from Server 133 signing out, and I'll see you next time.